Hello, Babaloo. You gonna say hello? No, people on the phone. Scary, scary to the Babaloo. How about you, Jasmine? Jazz.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Lander.
Hello.
That's a big beak right next to my face. What are you doing up there? Hmm? Yeah, that's a big boy. A mander bird. And the bucket boy, Cecil. Hey, Mander. Hey, Mander. All right,
Catch me
Jazz.
hand up, Woody. Oh, what a good Jasmine.
That's a jazzy jazz bird. Yeah, she was
Not
crawling
trying
down my chest.
to get out and reach for some white birds to preen her. Just sitting there, lovely.
She was trying to make it hard for me to set up everything because she kept walking down my chest, weren't you?
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
so sweet.
Hi, Sugar. I see you up there.
Why? Why?
Yeah, she's giving me the eye instead. Why are you petting? Why do you have two pink birds right around you?
Mm.
Hi, Jocelyn. Hi, Tiki Tiki. Hello, Buktiar Shah. Eleanor.
I added Eleanor to the stage, so she's in. Just the micro is off.
Oh, I thought she was already on. That's what I get for thinking.
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
And we got Falcon, Sue, and Jocelyn, and Lisa and Calvin as well. So hello, all you guys.
Hello. Hello. So can you say hello? Cecil said hello today, but unfortunately, only I heard it
Oh.
because Jasmine was making um, a wee bit of a song at the time, weren't you, girl?
Cecil and Bob watching outside, huh? Interesting stuff going on.
You guys. Once again, the weather people were wrong. They were saying it was going to be last night. They had 55 for today Fahrenheit. It happens to be 65, so they're only 10 degrees off. And then, of course, they adjust it in the morning to 61, and they're still 4 degrees off.
Mm.
I thought we were going to have to be in the socialization room, but pretty toasty out here right now.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice out there right now.
Mm. Love that blue sky.
Yeah,
I
this is
think the Bob
definitely.
does too.
This is definitely an environment they like. It's a nice, comfy, cozy place to be. Bob, cut it out. Babaloo.
Other
No.
neighbors.
No, 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 no. We're not doing that. Bob, stop it. Get over here. Don't start the yelling. Yeah, she wants, if you get on my lap, she wants to preen you. I will teach you to yell on
Mm.
it.
Oh,
Babaloo.
Bob. So cute. And there's our number one bucket boy, Cecil.
What's up, Cecil? KK is not out with us. I can't get my throat clear this morning. KK is not out with us because yeah, I prefer to do that two-handed. He's usually pretty good, but it only takes one maneuver by Mander to get him set off. So he'll be out a little later. What you doing there, kiddo? He didn't look too upset about it. He was playing in his cage when I left. Brought Bob out, the last bird. He has to be the last bird out because he will just squawk until I get out here. So a little codependent, are we, huh? Are we a little codependent? What does that mean? He says, no, I'm a Babaloo. What are you talking about? Oh, thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lisa. And of course, hello. So thank you so
Yeah,
much again, Lisa, and good to have you here. And then
definitely. Bob said
we
hello.
have a lovely post by Jocelyn Triggle who says, Cinnamon hears Bob yelling and now yells with him. So sweet. Bob, are you a little peer to Cinnamon? Cinnamon has also a tiny crest.
He says, who's got a tiny crust? Look at that look on his face. Yeah, I don't like using alternatives. I had to do a lot of research on it, but I can't even remember. There is a botanical that if you can't get deslorelin or lupron, which to get that we'd have to drive. It's the 8-hour drive one way, so you're gone for 16 hours. There is nobody around that can prescribe it here, so and you can't get it from a pharmacy, so I've got Lorelei on a pure botanical, which is it's obvious it has no negative effects. The question is whether it will have any positive ones. She's just way too into mating behavior, and I can mitigate it a little bit, but by environmental changes and things like that. But the salfingo hysterectomy, which does not remove the ovaries, so and they can't do that. It's dangerous, and no guarantee your bird's going to come out of the surgery if they try to do that. But the research I've done, there is some evidence that it causes an extreme level of mating behavior when you do that. So This must be new information because it certainly wasn't out there when I was first considering it, because she was producing, an egg a month, and then the last one came out so thin that, there's a good chance it could get stuck, and then you've got all kinds of problems. So. But the Deslorelin implant didn't work on her, so the next thing would be trying Lupron, but the vets have to invest a lot of money in Lupron or Deslorelin, so there aren't that many vets who will do it. Nearest one would be Dr. Jenkins. That's an 8-hour drive. Right? Sea salt? Sea salt!
Seesaw.
Seesaw? Now, he was talking up a storm yesterday. He said hello. He actually went and said hello, didn't you? First time in a while.
Good bird.
He's busy. He's just not a talker, are you? You don't usually talk,
Nope.
do you?
He does a lot of things, but talking.
He does the
It's-
imitate humans thing occasionally. He'll start imitating humans, and then Bob will go at it, and they'll go back and forth. Lorelei will join in, but then he's just imitating what we sound like, not the actual words. So. Right, Bob? Guys are pretty quiet. Sander, you've managed to keep my hand up there for a long time now, and I don't think I can keep it up there forever. You're going to have to go without being petted. He's being good because Snowball's in here, and he doesn't usually like to be around Snowball. Snowball's a little extreme for you, is he? Hmm? Hmm? Snowball Skywalker. Well, creating a comfortable environment for parrots is not an easy thing to do. What we've made big change for K-Kai by getting him a big cage. Thank you for the donations for that, because it's made a huge difference. There is no chance in the world that I could have left him in there to bring the first group out without him hanging on the side of the cage and screaming for a long time while I take the last bird out. That's what he used to do. Now he's in there playing. He's got a set of toys, and he's messing around with them and having a good old time. He knows they'll come out later, but that's the other thing is, establishing habit patterns. You have to be able to modify them a little bit so they don't freak out when you break them, but it happens here. They come outside when we can. They go inside. I move things around a little bit, but it's the same basic idea. I might bring them out an hour earlier. I might bring them out a little later, depending on the circumstances. They know the basic pattern, and that helps them establish their lives. They can play around while you're waiting for something else to happen. If I take too long in the morning to get them their wet food, though, they'll start complaining. Won't you? Won't you do that? You do that, don't you? You complain. Fortunately, they have soft, quiet little voices, so complaints don't really come out all that loud. Cecil? Do you have a quiet voice, Cecil? Sea salt.
I think Cecil's the kind of guy that speaks softly and carries a big stick.
Definitely carries a big stick. Beats you with the darn thing. Yeah, really? You had to say something, huh? Most everybody's just kind of taking it easy right now. Only one, only active ones are Matter, who's trying to get petted, and Bob, who's looking outside. Part of it's the right environment, having them in the right cage, something they like. I mean, Pippa's in a cage I wouldn't really think would be good for her, but I've tried other cages that were larger, and she just gets depressed. You can tell because she'll you try to put her in the cage, and she puts her wings out, she won't go in it. This cage, she always goes in. I don't know why. But it's her choice, not mine. So Bob likes his cage. Of course, he wants to be out, but he likes his cage. Getting toys in there, rotating them, and that's all important to keep them interested. With him, you can tell when he's lost interest. He'll pick up. There's a little plastic square in there. It's about 3 inches square. He picks that thing up and he'll start beating it on the bars at the bottom of the cage. Yeah, yeah, that's right, Lisa. It's cleaning the cage. I got a trick from the man who had KK. You can clean the bars quite quick with a mop. You still have to take the grate out once in a while and get underneath, but the mop does get some of that off. So that helps, but you still have to pull the paper on every cage and clean up anything that missed the paper, and right, Bob? And then you got to change the toys around, but not just change the toys around. I've got to build them. So, and that's kind of fun. I like making them toys, but I'm gonna make at least 3 toys a day and then rotate them around. Sometimes KK lately has been tearing off all the accoutrements of the toys. The finger traps and the pine balls, not pine, palm. They're made from palm fronds, and so there's a whole bunch of things hanging on there. There's the 3 inch bagels and all. I hang a bunch of stuff on there. He's stopped chewing on the wood first. Now what he does is he goes after that stuff first. So I pull him out, restring everything on there, all the extra stuff, and then put that back up in a different cage. But usually he goes after the wood, and I have to tear everything down, put wood on it, and then put different kinds of frou-frou on it. And that one up there, boy, she likes her toys changed every day. So I just rotate them around from another bird. But then you can do all that, but if you're not interacting with your birds, they're just going to go nuts anyway, right, Bob? Yeah, you wouldn't think so, but he's a bird that needs a lot of talking to. If I don't say hello to him first in the morning, he kind of walks around like he's pouting. Well, he was in a spot where at the place where they had him rescued, where people walked by him all day long. So if you don't speak to him when you walk by, and I have to walk by him a lot, so I have to say hi, Bob, a lot. He's got to know that he's cared for. It's important, isn't it, Bob? Even when you're burying your face. Yeah. playing with them. Like with Snowball, you have to play. You have to play with the frisbees with him for a while, or he'll start sitting in his cage and looking like he's a doll rather than a real cockatoo. Yep. Um, the website to get the pine cones. Oh, last time she dropped them by, so I'm trying to remember. Hmm. It has pine cones in the name, but let me see if I can look it up quickly. I can't do that when I'm on this. I'll think of it. It'll pop into my head. That's funny that name is just not there. Bob, did you steal it? Did you steal the name? Hmm? Did you? The only thing about this broadcasting software is that it's tied to the browser, so if I try to look up something, I can get disconnect us. Um, it doesn't help either that your browsers keep the memory, so if I start typing pinecone, it pops up. I'll think of it though. They also have leather collars and things like that, which you can use temporarily if you have a bird that's plucking. Temporarily is the way collars should be used because they're kind of stressful on the neck and the bird, but there's times when you have to. Right, Bucket Boy? Huh? What are you doing? So each one has different ways you play with them. With Cecil, it's letting him beat on me and then grabbing the toy and messing with him. That's our games together. And we do a little bit of the training thing too. The put out your wings and hang upside down and that kind of stuff. I try to do that with all the birds. KK is the only one that hasn't learned to go upside down yet, so won't be long. Yeah, we're working on it. But these guys are really social. Now it depends on the species of the parrot you're dealing with, but some species are more needy, uh, like Bob. Bob who? I think of needy. I have to think of Jasmine. She is fun to play with. You get her on your chest and you start talking to her, and then she'll run around your neck and jump on your head and does a lot of acrobatics around you. Lucy just started playing with toys maybe a year ago. Um, right, Luce? So part of that was it's actually sitting there and playing with toys with her, which is like trying to give her a toy, and she just looks at you like, "Why are you sticking that in my face?" Yeah. But after a year of doing it, she started actually playing with them. Now she's got some particular things she likes. I take these little balsa wood blocks and drill holes in them and stick corks in them, and she likes to take the corks out and chew on them. So who would have thought that she would end up being a bird that likes to chew on cork? Who knows? The texture is interesting, I guess. Another thing is, temperature and humidity are important too. There aren't too many parrots that come from a dry area, so living in the desert, I would much rather just have the humidity at 10% in the house, but I can't do that, especially with Pippa. Pippa starts sneezing, and she has all kinds of breathing problems if you turn the humidity down. So
Yeah, these guys definitely live in the rainforest. I mean, when you look on Google Maps for Saram, then the island Saram, then you just see green.
yeah.
Mm. But budgies, for example, they live in the steppe area, so they are not tied to high humidity. Bob.
Yeah, but they're not quite well. He's on that island. It's a little more humid there. The greater sulfurs aren't tied to it, and it depends where they hang out. Greater sulfurs are eh,
Mm.
medium to low humidity is fine for them. But umbrellas, it's like 100% humidity there all the time. So
Mhm.
I'm surprised more of them don't show problems with that. The same with the Moluccans because that's another massively humid area, which may account for the feather dust because that's what keeps the bugs off their skin. And it keeps the feathers supple too, but no bug wants to be breathing that stuff. So, and there's a ton of it. I had a day. I usually do the filters every other day, and I've got 7 of them in the house, and it looks like Christmas every time I blow them out. That's every other day. Well, I did it. I decided to do it a day ahead of time, so I did it like 3 days in a row, and every day it looked just the same. I mean, so I'm thinking I probably should do this every day, but there's only so much you can do, one person. But and that's important for them too. Now, the other side of humidity is that if you have something like someone like Bob is probably not quite as reliant on humidity, probably 40-50% because Christmas Island, right? But he's still producing a lot of dust, and depending on humidity, the less humidity, the more dust gets in the air. And these guys don't do well breathing their own dust. Needless to say, neither do you. But
Mm.
if your humidity is below 45 in your house and you have a cockatoo, you're breathing dust. And you can tell by if you put like a piece of black, shiny paper on the wall, and you look at it after a week, it's going to be covered with white. Um, the picture I have of Steve Jobs over Pippa's cage, which she's modified slightly by getting out one day. And now I have a C clamp on her door so she won't do that. But um, if it starts to look hazy, then there's something wrong with the humidity. And I have what, 4 humidity indicators in the air in that whole house. So if the humidity gets too low, then the dust gets in the air and we're all breathing it. So, right, Bob? And with this many birds, you need to vacuum at least every other day. Otherwise, when you walk around, you are stirring the dust from the carpet into the air. Now, if you're running a big humidifier like I do, You can turn the fan on overhead if you got a fan. The birds can't get out. You have a fan on low, it's not a problem. But and the way I have it set up, they generally I've only had one bird get out so far, and that was Pippa, and that's just because the cage she has really shoddy locks on it. She's never tried to get out. One day she did. So, but anyway, I always make sure everything is secure if I turn on the fan. But it does circulate the dust, and if it gets the moisture on it from the humidifier, then it drops to the floor. So, but those ceiling fans can be bird killers, so you have to be careful. I don't think there's a bird here who would even try to fly all the way up there. But we don't want to take any chances, do we, Bob? Do we, Bob? Nah.
So we have a comment from Facebook from Macoman. I read it. I have 5 large macaws and live in the desert. Our entire home is a cage-free aviary. We have humidifiers we run year-round and use rabbit air filters everywhere.
Cool.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't have rabbit air filters. I have 20-inch box fans with filters attached by Gorilla Tape to the front of them, and they work great. And with the humidity high enough, the smaller particulates clump together, so that catches it. But I learned that trick from an air conditioning company online. They were saying, "Oh, you can make your own," but yeah, compared to the filters, I still run a couple of Linux filters too, but compared to the amount of dust a regular air filter brings in, they do a better job. But kind of just found that out by luck. I just was checking it out online, and there was an air conditioning company that said, "Oh, you can make your own," with the usual caveats. It's not going to do as much. Oh, yeah, it does. Depends on the size of the the dust, and a number 8 filter works just fine. So, and on the humidifier, I got lucky on finding one that it does the whole house. It's amazing. And the veterinarian I was talking to about this, Dr. Kenton in Vegas, was saying, "Oh, you're not going to find a big whole house humidifier." And I did find one. Does a big house too, but it looks like a water fountain going off there. I mean, it looks like you're cooking outside on a smoker or something. There's so much water coming out of it, and it's a ultrasound type, so it doesn't produce any heat. It just puts the moisture in the air. Last thing you want in the desert is heat with your moisture.
I just showed the second comment from Macoman, who says, in spring, summer, and fall, we use a roof-mounted swamp cooler with drop in each room. Oh, that sounds like a really cool system.
It does. It does. Sounds great. Yeah. Swamp coolers are good for the birds.
It goes on. We also have an outdoor aviary with a misting system to keep all of us cool and wet during the 95 plus degree Colorado desert summers. Can Don and the birds come by one time? Maybe. Sounds
I've got a
great,
mister out
really.
there. We haven't used it, but I do have a mister. Yeah, I wish it was 95 plus. Here it's last year the highest day was 115. So
But sounds nice for birds, and
yeah.
that's
I don't
cool.
take them out. If with misters on, you could take them out to about 90 degrees out here, but maybe a little more. I don't know. Cecil's really sensitive to heat. He's the canary in the coal mine. When he starts breathing funny, it's getting too hot. The rest of them seem to be able to take a little bit more heat, but he seems to be better now. He's kind of adjusted to slightly hotter temperatures, but what are you doing over there, Cecil? Okay, let's stop dropping URLs. Okay, we don't drop URLs in the comment section. Puts me to work deleting them.
At the moment you haven't deleted it, it's shown on the screen.
Well, it's not on mine anymore, so I don't know what to tell you. If you can delete them, please do.
I can't because you deleted it in the chat.
Oh yeah, well we don't like putting URLs in the chat section, so unless it's
No,
our URL. So what are you doing over there, buddy? Huh? What are you doing? Hi, Bob. Hi, Bob. So playing with your birds is important too, and sometimes it takes a while to figure out how to play with them. What are you doing? What are you doing? Bob is always a lot of fun to play with, but aren't you, Bob? He's a big nut. Sugar bird. Hey, you. That's the wing where she had the problem recently, so I'm kind of watching to see what she's doing. What are you doing with that wing up there, kid? Don't get it bleeding again. She had a feather break off close to the skin, so. Is it all okay up there, Shug? Are you all okay up there? Oh, that's okay, Makan, man. You didn't know. That's basically a rule we should have posted, but um, what are you doing? That's a sugar bird.
Is that the sugar bird?
The sugar bird. She's funny. She's not that easy to play with. I mean, she likes her beak rubbed, but as far as just playing, she looks like you like you're out of your mind if you try to play a toy with her or something. So
Yeah, no, nothing to be sorry about, Coleman. I noted it, and I will have a look at your outdoor aviary misting system. Sounds cool.
yeah, once you've checked it out, we can post it on here. That's no problem. If you got something like that, just send it to us, and when we have a time to check it out, we'll put it up. It's not a problem. But it's just because we've had people put things up like that before, and when you went there, it wasn't what they said it was. So we have to be careful with that. I'm pretty sure that's not the case this time, but we still have to be sure. Right, girl? Oh,
Mhm.
I call you over and I have to pet you now, don't I? Yeah, that's the deal. If I call her over, she's got to get petted. Now, there's things you don't think about. What's the humidity level that they have in the wild because their bodies are attuned to it, right? Um,
Mhm.
and they need sleep at night too, and that usually means that you have to move them in another room. Covering them in the room where you're sitting watching television is not going to provide them a good sleep. Your best bet, if that's what you're going to do, is put a television in a different room. And if their room isn't, hey, you, what you doing up there? Huh, big guy? Huh? I'm not sure what I think he's yelling at me. What? Is it because I'm petting her? No, he's just having a good moment. You happy? You a happy boy?
Oh, come
So
on,
what you can do,
Nana.
have a TV in a different room, a family room or a bedroom where you can go and watch it once you put the bird to sleep. It's good for them to be in the primary area where people hang out, but once they need to go to sleep, or put a sleeping cage in another room, because they do need quiet in order to sleep. Yeah, they're prey animals, so they're highly sensitive to noise that will keep them awake
Hmm.
because it could be a predator. Well, usually it
Yeah.
is. It's a human being making noise, right? So it's a predator. But
Do they complain in the rainforest when some owls scream in the midnight?
who?
Just
Um,
joking.
I
Let's
know
get
I
to the
was too.
comment of Lisa Banerjee, who says, Don, I know Rika quite well after 34 years. Why will he physically fly attack mode into my face and he's not playing? I think because daddy is with him and mom is to beg off. Mhm. Oh, Rico, be nice to your mommy.
Yeah, that's for keeping a journal. So you write down when it happened, who was in the room, what the situation was, if anything has changed, the time of day, that kind of thing. So, and then you look back in the journal and you start going, oh, he does it in exactly these situations. So that's what we were talking about journaling. That's where it can really help. The other thing is putting a camera up. Once you get the idea of what the situation is that usually causes that, it doesn't come out of the blue. You put up a camera, or you can put up one that's on while you're in there with the bird, wherever that is. So when it does happen, you can look back and say, "Oh, okay." Watching it one time doesn't usually work. Watching it 20 or 30 times does. We were required to do that in my first class in ABA. So to watch videos over and over and over until we went, "Aha! I see now." But journaling will probably help you with it. They don't generally do something like that because they don't like you, obviously. It's because there's something that triggers it in the environment.
Wow.
Either they're bonded to the person that is the caretaker, or they're bonded to somebody else, and then their reactions come from that. Quite happens when you have a bird flying at you who's aggressive, but usually it's territoriality, and 9 times out of 10 it's mate territoriality. Sometimes it's trying to protect you. Sometimes they're trying to protect someone else. But sugar, you're gonna whine? If I stop, will you whine? Yeah, you did. Didn't take you long, did it? No. You just have to remember that line from a modified line from Fight Club. Do you want to die without any scars? I've had mine, haven't I, sugar? Have I had my scars, sugar? Hmm. It's amazing how much you can learn through journaling, though. It really does help. And because we tend to make snap judgments, I know I do. So, but if you have a journal and you write it down and you see consistently it happens in a certain situation, then you can start figuring out ways to deal with it.
Is that Sugar watching back there? Or Jasmine or Mander?
That's jazz.
Jazz! So fluffed up. That's unusual.
Yeah, you start seeing that when Paul has come over and he's sitting on the couch, and I'm playing with Polly, and it's in the morning. Okay, you're getting all these different triggers. Then I walk away from Polly to go get something, and then Polly flies over and tries to bite my face. So what's the solution? I start wearing a hockey mask when Paul comes over in the morning. No, I wouldn't suggest that, but I mean there are solutions at that point. That might be the point where that that's the key. Where in the morning when Paul comes over and you're done playing, and at that point you put the bird back in the cage while you go and do something, and then take it out again a little later and see if that solves it. You just start working on solutions. It's not always going to be the first solution that works either, right? Yeah, I tried taking my hand away once, and that didn't work, did it? No, because you walked away and looked back and whined at me. Where are you going? Ah. Bob's just, I'm going to sit over here and hang on the cage and look outside, hang on the aviary. Right, Bob? Well, Lisa, when you go to work, tell them that, no, Tyler Durden did the mark on my face. If you haven't seen Fight Club, then that didn't mean anything, but
Or maybe she has once seen Fight Club, but not 100 times like somebody else.
that would be Romeo, who's probably seen it 100 times. I've seen it, I don't know, 5 or 6 times.
Mm.
I don't get to watch movies all the way through now. I watch them in half-hour stints. So.
You've got to watch the carnival parade from my hometown.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get around to that. I need around to it. What are you doing? What you doing, girl? Yeah, using a video in that situation is helpful. If you once you can nail it down to when it usually happens, then it's helpful to have that video and watch it like you watch Fight Club. At least 30 times.
There comes a bubbly Bob. Oh,
That's
what a cutie.
the question I always ask people who say that I ask them if they've seen Fight Club, and how many times? And if they say once, they didn't get it. There's no way you can watch that movie once and then say you've really watched it. You haven't. So there are some movies like that. Memento is another one like that. Anyone who says they've watched it once and they liked it is probably not telling the truth. Yeah, it's running two different timelines, one forward, one backward, and You can't get it all in one
Don't
setting.
spoiler.
Oh, that won't spoil it.
Okay.
Believe me, that won't spoil it. Mm-mm. No, that's an interesting movie with a lot of the actors from the Matrix in it. So the guy who played Cypher, you got Trinity in there. I don't know how many times you'd really have to watch Memento to truly get it anyway. I've seen it. I've seen it a couple of times, twice. A movie like that, if you haven't seen it twice, you didn't see it. But when I went back through it, it made more sense. But what are you doing? And now
Oh,
you're going
Bob
to
is
do
such
that
a
to
good
me.
boy.
I'm
Is
going to
Bob
reverse the
going to say
camera.
something? Quiet Bob today. Not in chatty mood. You know, I like Bob's voice. And he's going to Papa Lupa. Oh, Shuggy!
Hi, sugar. Yeah, I'm the only
Oh,
person
look at
she'll
that
F.
cuddly shug bird.
Well, that's a
I'm,
kitty, isn't she?
that's the only one. I'm
She
the only
really
person
leans
she'll do this
over to
to.
cuddle.
Hmm.
Oh.
Oh, that's
She has to.
adorable.
She's got to be in the mood to do this. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You watch the birds and you see what they're interested in. Like Jasmine, she is not a morning person. There was an old TV. It wasn't a sitcom because it was serial. It was British, but where somebody says, "I'm not a morning person," and that's what she says. She's the first hour she's awake. She's like me when I wake up. You talk to her and you say, hi, Jazz. And she looks at you like, you talking to me?
Lol.
About, about an hour later, she starts bouncing around her cage and having fun and grabbing stuff. But she first wakes up like, oh, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me.
So which bird is a morning person?
Romeo.
Oh.
He's the one that's most alert in the morning. Yeah.
Mm.
Bob's pretty alert in the morning. He'll start. Well, I have to say hello to him first, so he's at least listening to me. He doesn't look all that enthused to wake up, do you, Bob? It's Bob.
Bob?
He doesn't. He's like, I see some bird in the phone.
Mm.
Um, Lorelai's pretty wide awake. She wakes up fast. The rest of them are in between somewhere. But Jasmine is just, I'm not a morning person.
Mm-hmm.
What are you laughing
I,
at?
I resonate with Jasmine.
I feel privileged, sweetheart, for you to be sitting right there.
Yeah, and leaning over. Mm.
Now, if I spend more time petting her while she's up here, it increases the chance that she's going to do this again. But that's something, whatever you spend the most time with your bird trying to, if a bird does something you like and you quickly acknowledge it and move on, well, you're probably not going to see that behavior again. But if you keep, you keep acknowledging the fact that they're doing something you like she's doing right now, then I'll probably see more of it. But as it is, maybe once a month she'll do this. Hey, baby. Hi. Hi. Hello. Hello. Hello, big bird. Sugar bird. Sugar bird. Bob's preening.
Oh, what a good boy.
Hold on, Shug. I'll be right back. Don't freak out. I gotta switch the camera around here. Hold on. Hold on. Let's do
Oh,
that.
are we watching a playing bucket boy? There he is. Don't upset the sugar. She wants to be continued training.
Hi, baby.
The Jazz. Sleepy Jazz.
Sugar.
Wide awake in the morning, but she needs her afternoon nap.
Yeah. She's alert about, I don't know, 4 hours of the day.
Oh, that sounds nice. Imagine that.
Yeah, 4 hours of running around acting like a crazy bird. She'll start doing that as soon as I put the phone down. She was running around my chest when I started. I'm trying to set up the video, and she's running down to try to get Bob to preen her, and then running across to try to go after Cecil.
Yeah. I made a screenshot yesterday from that, how you prevent Jasmine from getting to Bob, and Eleanor staged that picture with Sunny, which was so great.
Yeah, basically, I put my hand around her neck gently. I'm not squeezing it, although their
Yeah,
necks are stronger.
absolutely. No pressure at all, just like a hole where she cannot get through.
Yeah, and then she keeps pressing against it with her shoulders, right? She's just shoving and shoving against it, trying to. And Bob's looking at me like she comes one more inch close. I'm gonna snap at her.
Let's see. We have a few more comments. So Julio said bye-bye because it's supper time. Then Falcon Sooth thinks that Shugi wins the most cutest award today. I agree. She definitely does. Then Lisa says, looks nice outside there, Dawn. Here it's 28. And then a freezing smiley. And Leonie says, I was lucky enough to get close to a rainbow lorikeet yesterday, but he flew away. Oh.
Oh, just don't let him get over your head.
Well, these are wild ones, I guess.
I know. Well, it doesn't matter. They still drink nectar.
That's true. But
and what comes out the other end is
they seem to sit on Chimbird as well. I mean,
yeah.
And things happen. I mean, and my bocce sit on me. Sometimes you get a gift.
Yeah, that doesn't happen with the cockatoos. But yeah, if they're over you on a rope, yeah, that could happen. But if they're sitting on you, no.
Yeah, that's because they are big enough to go on the side, but little tiny
I don't know. I don't know why they don't. I have no idea why they don't do it. Budgies will. My mother had budgies when I was younger, so. And we've had some. We've rescued some. So, Bob, you want to say goodbye to everybody? It's that time. It's that time, Bob.
Becca.
It's that time, Bob.
No, not Becca. What do we say?
No, Becca.
Bob's a good boy.
Say bye-bye.
Bob is bye. Bob, say bye-bye.
Bye-bye, fun people.
Now he's looking around like, where are we going? Where are we going?
Oh,
No.
Bob.
I'm sorry, Bob. We're not going anywhere.
Oh, I think he would go. Taco Bell or something. Cheering up some children.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Lisa. Bye, Falcon Sue, Leonie.
All a great time.
Yep,
We'll see you next time. Thanks, Amy and Eleanor, for your excellent work, and we will see you all next.
Science knowledge only adds to the excitement, the mystery, and the awe of a flower.
Evidence is evidence. It's public. Everybody can look at the evidence and assess it, and eventually, if there's enough evidence, come to the same conclusion.
the Chloe Sanctuary for Parrots and Cockatoos, a nonprofit charity dedicated to the empowerment of captive parrots and public awareness.